guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you watch this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you're all here. Today, I wanted to give you my review slash overview of this kind of budget entry into CJRB, the Hectare, or Hectare, or Hectare, or however you want to pronounce that. I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. But before I jump too far and too deeply in it, I want to give a shout out and a huge thank you to the channel members. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you more than you know. And I want to thank any of you guys who come in to check out my knife and EDC content. Let you know how much I appreciate that. And if you like the content and are so inclined, if you would please hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon, it would really help me out. But today we are talking about this little CJRB Hectare or Hectare or whatever you want to call it. It is so good on so many levels and misses, in my opinion, in really just one. It's a bar style lock, and I know what people are probably going to say right off the bat. It looks like a bug out. And we'll do some comparisons in a second. It does look bug outy, but so do a slew of knives that have come since the bug out and that came before the bug out. So again, I don't think anything is nefarious in this design. I think it's a truly, original design using kind of some proven techniques, and then I think missing the bar on one area where they really could have improved. So what you're greeted with here is a lot of different color options, right? It's going to be G10 scales or handles with inset steel liners. And then you've got a really nice bar axis style lock. And you've got a thumb hole, flipper blade hole deployment there, right? So you can get your thumb in there, which I missed it there, or you can get your middle finger in there, and you've got a really ergonomic knife with a very nice finger choil, nice jimping in CJRB and Artisan Cutlery's AR RPM 9 steel. This model number, I think there's something on here that says JT935. That may be the model number of this knife. But it is, we're going to call it the Hectare or Hectare. But it's a very light bug out like package, right? So it's going to be a light carry. It's got a deep carry pocket clip. It's got really nice G10 with some really good texturing. I don't know how well you could see that on my camera. You've got a nice satin blade. With very minimal branding, just a little CJRB there on the blade steel, and that model number that I gave you guys. A couple of standoffs, T8 hardware everywhere except on the clip. So yeah, there's not a lot here not to like, not to love in some cases, but there's just one glaring thing that I think in version 2, not that CJRB listens to what I say, but I think it's kind of missed an opportunity. Very slicey. I've not done anything but cut a little paper with it, cut a little bit of cardboard last week with it before the weather got bad, and I apologize for the meowing. Just doing a little therapeutic cutting. We'll finish this up. Nice and pokey. Not as much of a splinter digger, but it has what I consider a very good utilitarian type of tip. And if you needed it to dig splinters, you certainly could. But yeah, a super little knife. The price point of this knife was very impressive. $47.96, I think. I got it at, if I'm not mistaken, River's Edge Cutlery's, where I saw it first. It's since come to a lot of places. I'll see if I can find it at White Mountain Knives. I'll link that in this description, because if y'all want, you can use Javon10 and save 10% on your checkout there. I apologize, guys. Go ahead, Tip. It's cold out there. She'll be back. But anyway, so yeah, what I feel, and I told you I wasn't going to do any more spine wax, but there last on spine whacking. Where they missed the boat, in my humble opinion, is the way that they dealt with this recessed cutout area. It's almost like it was designed with thumb studs in mind, and they didn't take the blade hole into consideration, because just me, my personal brain, would carry this out so you've got a little bit more access. Now I can get there. I can go right up where CJRB wants me to, which with a thumb, it makes a little sense, I guess. But, and I can even get a tiny bit of my finger up there in the front, but why not? And I know it has to do with the grip, but I do not think giving more access right in this area would be anything but a good thing. I don't know if y'all can see what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about somehow working this chamfered area or this lower area back a little bit. It's got a lanyard tube, which is great. It's got a reversible clip, which is great. It's got inset screws, which are great because this knife goes in and out of pocket very, very well. Do a couple of quick size comparisons, then I'll get you some dimensions. First, we have to look at it next to our Satin Dave improved upon cold steel Formax and our Civivi Baby Banter. It is going to be smaller than the Formax, and it's going to be considerably larger than the Baby Banter, which brings us to the Benchmade Bug Out and the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And you guys can see it's pretty close to the size of the Bug Out. Now, oddly enough, the blades are much different in terms of length and height. You've got a deployment hole. You've got what I see as a pretty different handle. I mean, it's a neutral handle. Let's look at it. We'll keep the Bug Out up there, but let's pull out a few other specimens, like the Asher Spiro, the Civivi Quidic. All these are similar sized knives. The CJRB Pyrite. And let's look at Kaiser. Let's look at the Veritas or whatever you call this knife. A little bit smaller than the Veritas or Veritas. But yeah, so it looks similar to a Bug Out because I think a lot of us always, our minds go to Bug Out. But when you look at it next to a lot of other knives, to me it's just kind of a pretty neutral knife design that does what it's supposed to do well, which is cut. And then it could be improved upon, in my humble opinion, by, you know, working on that access. Let's look at the dimensions coming in at 7 1/4 inches. Our blade is going to be 3 1/8. Our cutting area is going to be 2 3/4. Our handle is going to be 4 inches. To the choil, to that back area, is right over 4 1/4, between 4 1/4 and 4 1/2, right here to here. So if you say 4 1/4, you're very, very conservative. And this dimension right here is 3 1/2 inches on the inside there. Let's look at, hold on. We can get our caliper zeroed in. And our blade stock is coming in at 0.1090. And behind the edge comes down to 0.0090. 0.0230. Let's see if I'm even getting the right 0.0175, depending on where you measure. Where you measure on the bevel is what I mean. 0.42, so under a 1/2 inch wide. So it's a light, small, little package. Let's grab our Javon scale. And we will see that this guy weighs in 2.7 ounces, which I think is superb. 2 3/4 inch cutting area, 3-inch blade. Really nicely done little package at under 47 bucks. Again, with a Dremel, not that I use Dremels on my knives. I'll probably end up giving this away Friday night. But it could be fixed so easily. All you have to do as a design team is take a look at that blade hole and shift your recesses so you're not kind of forced in that area. Now, it deploys fine there. I just don't like to be dictated to. But guys, that is the CJRB Hectare or Hectare or Hectare, and whatever we want to call it. Great little knife, budget knife with a couple of minor flaws I think that could make it better. But thanks for watching the video. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for hanging out with me. I always ask, please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Always choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.